Have you ever wondered what it takes to run a franchisor business? Today we're going to talk about the 7 things you'll need to do to be a franchisor. All right, today we're going to talk about the 7 things you need to do to be a good franchisor. Let's start right out of the gate. Number 1, strong unit level economics. What do I mean by this? First of all, you need to have your head around the finances of your business. So you need to understand, are you making money? If so, how much money are you making? But then second of all, you need to have your pro forma dialed in. Now, if you don't know what a pro forma is, Google it, but it's, long story short, it's just a spreadsheet that's got variable numbers right in it, and it's got all your costs on the left, and it's got your income at the top, and you play around with your income numbers, you play around with your cost numbers, your variable cost numbers, and you get to know what is the model that has to work. So you get to understand, what's the maximum rent I can pay and have this work? What's the minimum square footage I need to have this work? What, if you're a restaurant, where do I need my food and labor costs to be for this model to work and to be profitable? So you've got to have, and so basically what that means is it's one thing to know it, and then it's another thing to have done it. So once you can demonstrate with your profit and loss statements over a period of time that, look, we have made money, and we've made money with pretty consistent numbers, and this is the model, this is what you need to be at to be able to replicate our system. Once you get there, you're going down the path of being where you need to be in terms of unit level economics. Number 2, this is a big one. Have an operating manual. Okay, so if you guys have not heard of or read the book, The E-Myth, I would consider reading that. It's a great book about basically how every business, even if you're just one person, a sole proprietor, hopefully you're not a sole proprietor and you're an LLC if you're just one person, it's a different topic, but even if you're just one person, you still should document literally everything that you do and every task that must be completed for your business so that you have a manual. In the DPO world, when I was the CEO there, we used to talk in terms of what happens if you get hit by a bus, right? So the business, you need to act as if the business is going to go on even if you're gone. The other value of that is now you can delegate things. Now that you don't have to, place the food orders, for example, or do the employee scheduling or whatever it is, now you can do other things because you can make trainings on them. So the operating manual is crucial. If you don't have an operating manual, it is not possible to franchise. That's the headline. If you don't have an operating manual, it is not possible to franchise, okay? So if you want to franchise and it's important to you and you don't have an operating manual, there's your project. Go work on it. Good luck. Number 3, and this goes hand in hand with number 2, you need to have training. So the training is going to come from the operating manual, right? So the operating manual has, bottom line, what you need to do. And then the training system is, how do we actually relay that information to franchisees? And then another level of training is if you create training for the employees of the franchisees, right? So depending on what your business is, you may need to create multiple levels of training. But training is key. It's how your system gets implemented in some other person's business, right? So if you're not committed to the training, then you're not going to be able to replicate your model. I will give a quick plug for an online company that I use in my businesses. Big Mama's Burritos is a chain that I'm still working with, and we use Trainual. It's really proven to be incredible. They're not paying me for this, just so you know, but in today's world, you can have somebody come in, scan a QR code, boom, they get started training right away, and they get the exact things that they need. So make sure you have a training system that complements your operating manual. Number 4, have business systems. So what does that mean? Business systems? That's very vague. Well, it just means, it goes back to your operating manual. You need to document the way you do everything, but you also need to have some sort of proprietary systems so that you're providing value, right? So for a restaurant, that could be recipes, right? It could be how you go about doing your prep, right? Those are some key ones. If you're in other businesses, it could be a variety of things, really. I mean, the checklist that you use to go open a new location could be proprietary. The point is, anything that you do and you do over and over again, those are your systems. And if nobody else knows about those systems and you developed them, they're proprietary. So just make sure that you're ready to onboard franchisees onto all of those systems. So some of these may be point of sale systems. That's a very common one. And a lot of times that's an outside third-party vendor. But the point is, you just need to have everything that you do for your operation ready to go for a franchisee's operation. Number 5, the 5th thing you need to do to be a franchisor, establish vendor relationships. So you need to do this so that, as we talked about before, in the pros of being a franchisor, you can get these deals with manufacturers and vendors. And your franchisees are going to expect you to have deals because part of why they're being in a franchise is to get the value of bulk purchasing power. And it's also possible you can get some rebates, but first and foremost, for your franchisees and for your corporate locations, if you have them, you're going to want to get a bulk purchasing deal in place that has discounts. Number 6, to be a franchisor, you need to understand your brand marketing. So you need to know what your lane is and what the plan is, what's the brand strategy, where are you going from a marketing standpoint. One reason that this matters is because once you have franchisees, everyone has opinions and there's going to be a million cooks in the kitchen and everybody wants to do their own different thing with the brand. It's helpful if you have a clear brand vision that everyone buys into when they become a franchisee. They're not trying to change the brand or redirect the brand in any other way. So just put some intentional thought into what the marketing strategy is, both tactical, what kind of things are you doing, and into what sort of the brand voice and the brand strategy is as well. Number 7, and this is the last main thing you need to do to be a franchisor, you need to trademark your business name. So if you don't have a trademarked name, it becomes more difficult to franchise because one of the things you're franchising is that you're licensing out those trademarks. It's possible to do, but I highly recommend having a trademark to be able to be a franchisor. We covered the 7 things that franchisors need to do to be successful, and next week we're going to deep dive into legal considerations for being a franchisor. See you next time.